my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be creating this design using the Gems colour of the week from the nail team, but in the acrylic, this beautiful soft blue, which is May. I've also used a touch from the Jubilee stacker, the glitter of the week. So to see how this set was created, please keep watching. So I'm working on Liza, my red iguana hand. I've applied the gem stiletto tips and then just nipped the very tip off of them. From the Gems acrylic range in this design I will be using Crystal Clear and a little touch of Peachy Peach, one of the gorgeous peach cover powders. I have also got these stunning watercolour floral decals from the Decal Queen. I am going to be using some of these bluey ones to go with the beautiful May. And here she is, the colour of the week in acrylic, a stunning soft blue. And then the Jubilee stacker, I'm going to use the white and iridescent glitter. I absolutely love that one from this stacker. So the decals are all cut out. I've cut right around them and then just placed them on my little wet sponge, popped to one side out of the way so that they are ready to use when we get to the point in the design where I need them. So I am starting off and I am applying my thin clear base using Crystal Clear. I forgot what it was called then, and I use it all the time. So I'm applying this just from the cuticle down, and I just want to place it over the blend where the tip is stuck on the nail. When I'm using a thin clear base, I want to make sure I have it on the entire natural nail so that that is protected when you are doing a redesign and you file down to it. I don't feel I need to cover right to the very tip of the plastic tip because you can file down to that quite safely. That is not going to do any damage to the natural nail if you file to that, whereas if you file down to a natural nail, that can be painful and can also damage the nail. So I like to make sure I get that thin clear base right to the cuticle and right over that join. It also helps to even out if there is any step between the tip and the natural nail, or in this case the base nail. You can also blend it down, but a lot of tips these days you don't necessarily need to blend it, they are quite thin, but if you prefer to blend, obviously blend, but you still want that thin clear base. I'm waffling. Anyway, I don't know why I kept this at real-time speed. I think that's why I felt I needed to waffle, but I have sped it up slightly now. So starting off on the index finger, and I'm going in with that beautiful May. So the May acrylic is almost a white with a blue tint to it. So it's sort of a off-white blue off-white. I'm not sure the correct wording, but it is a white with a very soft blue to it. Does that make sense? Do you understand? Maybe just look at the colour instead of trying to understand my randomly vague descriptions. I'm doing full coverage on this nail. I know I'm going to add a touch of glitter, so just painting it on from cuticle to tip, just tidying up, making sure nice neat cuticle line, getting rid of any lumpy bumpies or anything so it's nice and smooth. And then just making sure I've got full coverage right to the tip, and then I am going to move on to the middle finger. On this finger I'm doing a little bit of an ombre. So I am again starting with May. I placed my first bead sort of where that base nail free edge was, Flip my brush to blend it back, so I will have a smooth transition between the two colours in the ombre, and then just painted the rest of the product down to the tip. So I'm going to be adding the decals on the middle and the ring finger, so I know I want to keep everything I'm doing at this point nice and thin, so that I don't file anything away at the end when I've encapsulated. So again, exactly the same on the ring finger, just painting it down, making sure I've got a nice smooth blend at the back of the bead, and then just make sure full coverage right to the tip. So unlike the gel polish, May, the acrylic isn't a colour change. I know you can get some colour change acrylics, but none of the gems are. This is just this really, really nice sort of blue off-white, or off-white blue, however you want to say that, because honestly I haven't got a clue. On the pinky, I'm useless when I'm watching it back, telling what finger it is, even if I've just said what the previous finger was. On the pinky, again, I'm doing full coverage of, or a full nail of it. No, I'm not. Remind myself of what I did. So I am painting this down, and you see I've blended it out towards the tip. That is because I'm going to do some glitter at the tip, so it didn't need to be full coverage there, and by blending it out I'm not adding bulk, so that when I add the glitter it's a thick nail. I'm really waffling today, I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, moving back to the middle and also the ring finger where I'm doing the ombre, I am now applying my Peachy Peach at the cuticle and blending it down. You can see that first bead was just short of the cuticle because I wanted to focus on the blend first. So I normally apply the bead just before the fade back starts. So just before I've faded out the first colour, I apply the bead and then I will fade that down over top of the first colour, and that is how I like to get a nice ombre. Then I'll go in and do the cuticle bead. So here you can see I've placed that first bead just where that blue has faded back. Just blend down the back of the bead slightly, so when I come to place the next bead it will blend into it, and then I'm just pulling the front of that bead down and blending it down into May. And you can see that back of that bead is relatively flat to the nail, so the cuticle bead is going to then just blend over it and we'll have no harsh lines and it will be nice and smooth and even. Sorry, I apologise, I really am waffling today. I don't know what is wrong with me. I wasn't 100% happy with the blend, so I've just gone in with a touch more just to neaten that up. I'm applying the decals on this nail, so you don't see a huge amount of the blend. You do see some of it, but I would say the decals are enough to draw the eye away from any imperfections in the blend, but this is me. So the wash of clear acrylic has gone on. I like to let this go tacky. I find the decals stick down much better if it is tacky. They tend to smoosh a bit if it is too wet, and then you risk tearing it or smudging the decal. If it's tacky, they tend to sit nicely on top of it, and then I just gently pat it down to make sure it's flat and stuck to the nail. Don't do too much work with your hand, your fingers, or any tool you have, because again you could tear or smush or smudge that decal. Just enough to make sure it is all stuck to some acrylic, and then just leave the system to do the work and stick it fully in place. Just pushing it tight round the free edge. You can always cut or file away any excess, and then I'm just going to leave that to set. On to the pinky, I'm applying this beautiful white iridescent glitter just to the tip. This is from the Jubilee stacker, which as glitter of the week is on offer at £10 for the 5 glitters in the stacker this week, or five glitters stacker. So I've applied that at the tip, making sure I've got nice full coverage. It is a multi-mix glitter, so you can build up the coverage really nicely, and then feathered it back. And then, just for one of my most loyal subscribers, Jacqueline, a swoosh! Because I know she loves a swoosh. I love a swoosh too. So I'm doing this middle of the index finger. So I started my bead at the middle, pulled it back to the cuticle, and then shaped it. And then I'm going to apply a little bit more and pull it down to the tip and shape it. So we've gone up one side and down the other side to create my swoosh, and I wanted quite a skinny swoosh, and at the cuticle, and then it gets fatter, so it kind of decreases in thickness. And then I'm just patting it down and using the tip of the brush to move any little escapees of glitter into that swoosh, and then we'll let that set. And then I decided just to tie all of these nails together, I'd just go in and do a little bit of the glitter round the cuticle on the middle and the ring finger. Could have done this first, as you've seen me do before, and then place the cover acrylic over top, and it looks like the glitter is sort of popping out at the cuticle from behind, but I've just done a tiny line of it around the cuticle, trying not to cover up any of that decal, and then sort of just pulling it out ever so slightly with the tip of the brush, so it's not a straight line. It's sort of got a little bit of fade going on, and then I'm doing exactly the same on the the middle finger, the ring finger. The decal is slightly closer to the cuticle on this nail, so I just had to be a little bit more careful, because you could still smoosh or smudge the decal if you go in with too much wetness near it. And then this is the acrylic design of this set all done. So now need to encapsulate in clear acrylic. Get the apex in place, and then build up all of the structure to the nail. Make sure everything is fully encapsulated, so that when I then file them to reshape them and sort of refine the surface, I don't file away any of the decal or the glitter. And here they are, all freshly filed. So going to give them all a really, really good wipe over, get rid of any dust or fluff that is on the surface of the nail, any oils that I may have transferred whilst touching them. And then when they are all nice and clean, I am going in with the queen of top coats, Miss Tina Top, and I'm going to top coat all of these nails. I decided not to add any crystals or anything to this design, but instead of doing the glitter around the cuticle on the middle and the ring finger, you could add a few crystals. You could always add some where I've done that swoosh, but I decided that the decal and the glitter was enough for this design, that it didn't really need any crystals. Some pearls would be really nice with this design though, I think, personally. Anyway, now they are all top coated. They have gone in the lamp for a full 60-second cure, and this design is done. Although don't forget, if you are working on a real person, whether that real person is yourself or a client, make sure you finish off with some cuticle oil, and then take all your photographs to post on social media to show off your beautiful work. But that is it. I am another video and design done for this week, and that was May, the acrylic for colour of the week. There are a couple of other sets on my Instagram using the acrylic, so please check out over there just to see all the other designs I've done using the colour of the week. I would love to know what you thought of this set and this video, so please leave me any comments down below and give this video a thumbs up, and if you've not already, click subscribe. I apologise, I've really waffled on in this video. I will do better next time. Don't know what was wrong with me today. But we have come to the end. Hooray! I'm sure you're all thinking. I will pop all the product details and the links in the description box. Don't forget, when shopping at the Nail Team, you can use Helen5 for 5% off all full price products. The colours and glitters of the week aren't included in that because they are reduced. The colour of the week this week, either the acrylic or the gel polish, is just £5, and the Jubilee stacker of 5 glitters is £10. They will go up to full price on Monday when they change, so if you fancy either of those, get shopping. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video tomorrow, but until then, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.